think today, perhaps more than ever, we realize that competency and experience and responsibility at any level of government is vital to the operation of government. And I think it's incumbent on all of us as citizens to take the time to examine who's doing the job and how well they're doing the job and whether they deserve to keep their job.
Every decision, everything that goes through the courtroom before judges will go through the clerk's office. You need someone like Jamie to make sure that what the judge's judgment says is the judgment that is recorded in the clerk's office. It affects, he's the person that gathers the information and that holds it. And that, as we heard before, that becomes the record.
If your mother dies, he's the one who will probate her will and see that the estate is distributed fairly and accurately. If your Uncle Charlie becomes demented, he's the one who will determine who his guardian is. If you have a boundary dispute with your neighbor, he'll resolve it in a partition proceeding. He affects the day-to-day lives of all the citizens. He handles a huge volume of traffic cases. He's in the lives of everybody whenever they have legal troubles. He's the face of the court system. Judge Buckner formed what's called People's Traffic Court. And people would line up in the downstairs hall of the courtroom and stand in line to come upstairs and see the DA. And Jamie realized that there's an empty courtroom up there that people could be sitting in. And he took it upon himself to arrange a different transfer of human capital from downstairs to upstairs. And he brings his staff out in the morning, away from their busy office, and deals with 400 or 500 people, lines them up, seats them in the courtroom, sees that they are ushered up to the DA in an orderly fashion, shepherds them upstairs to see the judges. He took that responsibility on his own to protect the public from being left standing in the hall downstairs and called up one at a time.
Another consideration in my mind is that a clerk of court is the linchpin of judicial administration and law enforcement. From the heating and lighting in the courthouse to the scheduling of trials in Superior and District Court, to the coordination of courtroom assignments, to the replacement of staff, to be present in those courtrooms when people are sick or otherwise unavailable. Every day, every hour, the clerk of court is managing the operations of the court. And frankly, I just don't know of anybody who's done that job any better than Jamie Stanford.
One big change that he made once he became clerk, I'll tell you this, is that he stopped the process whereby anybody could walk into that clerk's office and pick out a file and look at it at his whim or will. He has a system whereby now to get to a file you have to register, it has to be approved, it's watched over. Files don't get missing under his care.
And that can't be said for every time and every place.
It's exactly right. And he's been very, the thing about him is he has, more than any person I've ever known as a clerk, has this deep sense of deep responsibility.
And the tens of thousands of documents that go through that office.
Right.
And the millions of dollars that he has to account for each year of public funds and court costs and minors, and no mistakes. They run a flawless office, and it's because of Jamie's work ethic and his attention to detail.